Hi guys, Exeter Rider, thanks for joining me once again. Now this week is the full review of the VOGE 500DS. Who are VOGE as a company? I'd never heard of them 2 months ago either. Well, VOGE are a subsidiary company of Lonsin in China. They have been around since 1983 and they launched VOGE as a brand in 2018, and since then they're selling bikes all over the world, and it's their way of attacking the premium bike market. Who is this bike going to suit? Well, I think it will suit people who have got bigger bikes that just want an easy bike to live with and pull out and go. It will suit the A2 market. It will suit the people who just passed their test that want a decent commuting bike. It's one of those bikes which will just pretty much, it will suit everybody really. I think everybody will enjoy this bike, whether you're a newbie or fully experienced. I mean, I get to ride bikes all the time obviously, and it's rare that I have a bike which I'm really attached to, because most of the time you sort of enjoy it for the first day and then it just becomes normal. Whereas this bike is a bike which I'm going to miss when it's gone. The screen is lovely to look at. It's beautiful really. I mean, the speed is very prominent. You got the rev bar there, which goes up like the BMW dashes, where you can see the numbers getting bigger there. That's quite nice. Got tyre pressures as well, which is just one of those things that's quite a nice added benefit. I mean, they didn't have to do that and they did, and I think that's a wonderful thing to have, because I'm the first to admit I'm terrible for checking my tyre pressures, and it's so imperative on a bike that your tyre pressures are right. Corner's lovely. We've got the decent confidence inspiring tyres. Just a great bike. It really is a great bike. I really hope they do well with this bike. And the spec of it as well, to get a rear rack and a centre stand, I mean, that's £350 saved straight away. But if you have got the perception that this is a Chinese bike and isn't going to last, I'd love for you to see one in the flesh. It's well worth you having a look, because I'm sure you'll change your mind. The amount of people I've shown this to and they've looked at it and you can sort of see them thinking, what, is it a Chinese bike? You know, you can see the cogs ticking. And it is one of those bikes. I mean, you know, even VOGE, the actual brand itself, people are questioning and saying, oh, where are they from? And as soon as you say China, they sort of look quite surprised. Road presence is good as well with this bike. It's quite a stocky bike. Right, so you find me here on this road. Now it's a slight incline, it's a 60 limit, so I'm just going to take it to 0 to 60 and you can see what it's like, alright? I missed the gear a bit there, but you get the gist of it. It's quick enough. Need 4th gear to get to the 60 miles an hour limit, but it's pretty quick. It's not bad. It certainly feels quicker than what it probably is actually going, but that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Let's go up this way. So as a lane explorer, it's absolutely perfect. Nice and light, plenty of power, decent tyres. The rear suspension is a little bit harsh over the bumps on the off-road side of things, but essentially it's still quite a pleasure, and it does get you around the lanes pretty quick if you want to get around quickly. And as soon as you hit a bit of the rough stuff, it just feels quite capable. Although we haven't got the off-road tyres and much ground clearance really, it just feels quite adventure ready for some light off-road stuff. So So what's it like to stand up on the pegs and reach for the bars? Well, for me, I'm average height and it's absolutely perfect. I can keep my knees in set quite tight. I can steer the bike just with the foot pegs, and yeah, it works really well. Onto the dual carriageway, and we'll see what it's like at higher speeds. So how have I found it so far? Well, it's a little bit buzzy at around the 70 miles an hour mark, 60 miles an hour maybe. It starts to get a bit heavy. We have got 6-speed gearbox on this one, so that does help, of course, having quite a high 6th gear. But yes, it does get buzzy, but it is a very capable machine on higher speeds. It's one of those bikes that you get on the motorway and it's just eager to go, you know. It will easily get you up to 100. A friend of a friend tested it, and he said that he got, you know, well into the 90s, and yeah, I mean, overtaking power, it's got the whole lot really. 60 limit here, so let's take it up. As you can see, it goes pretty quick. Oops, going a bit fast now. So it's got loads and loads of overtaking power, and lots of roll-on power as well. It's a very feisty bike at higher speeds. 70 miles an hour, no problem at all. I've got the throttle about quarter open, so there's plenty left. And yeah, I'm comfortable, I'm sat upright. The screen isn't doing a lot, although it takes it off my chest. It is a little bit breezy on the top of my helmet. That's where it's hitting me really. Yeah, so as a touring motorway dual carriageway bike, I've never said this about a 500 before, but in fact it's pretty good. You can do it if you can take the vibes, and if you're a young person, and that probably won't matter to you, but if you can handle the vibes, then yeah, you should be okay. But what I have found actually, which I must say, is that since I've put on a couple hundred miles on the bike, as with a lot of bikes, the vibrations have got a lot better. It's smoothed out a lot. So over time, whether that actually kills the vibrations altogether, I don't know. It's possible. I think it's certainly heading that way anyway, so I hope it does. Just so you know, that at 72 miles an hour, I'm at 6,000 revs. Although it's revving quite high, it doesn't feel like it's straining or struggling. It just feels like that's what it wants to do. Well then guys, I'm just going to fill it up with fuel. I've been flashing on empty for about 10 miles now, I would say. Flip that open there, like so. Right, so at the moment fuel is at 133.9. £12.31 for 250 miles. Nicely made that, all metal, nothing plasticky about that, and it's on a hinge, perfect. So let me run you through some stats. So it's a 471cc parallel twin. It produces 46.6 horsepower at 7,000 RPM. We've got the Pirelli Angel tyres, which are great in all weather conditions. I found them very grippy. They've not missed a beat. Now, many people might be thinking, well, why didn't they put a 19-inch on the front? This is still very much a road bike, and it feels like a road bike. But I think if you put some knobblies on it, TKC 80s for example, then this could become a real rapping off-road. So to look at the VOGE 500DS, I think it's quite a stocky bike really. For a 500, it does look quite meaty. It looks more like a 7 or 800, I would say. We've got these bars here, which for me is something and nothing. I mean, every little helps if you're going to go off-road. They're strong enough, I would say. I mean, it will protect the plastics, obviously, if you do have any spills. The fit and finish overall is very good. It is a nicely finished machine. It's all powder coated nicely. The plastics are pretty solid, I would say. Alright, so let me show you the dash now. I'm going to turn the ignition on and you'll see it fire up. It's a TFT.
It's Bluetooth connectable as well, so you can connect your phone to it, and when somebody calls you, it will show you who it is up the top here. It's very good. I've used that already. Fuel gauge on the right hand side going up and down here, a temperature gauge down the bottom, and then the tyre pressures down here as well, which is incredible for a bike of £5,000. Average fuel consumption, I've got 6.4 litres for every 100 miles. I'm averaging between 6.2 and 6.4 litres on that front, just so you know. A trip gauge down the bottom right, and then the rev bar up around here. Voltage of the battery at the top, and also the clock at the top as well. All of this here is fantastic. It's really useful information. It's no riding modes or anything like that. It's quite simple really. And then to the right we've got some idiot lights there, some warning lights, and same on the other side. The indicator lights also come up like so, left and then right. Dual disc on the front, which are Nissan, and a single on the rear. Again, the brakes on the front have a really nice feel about them. It brakes very well, and the back is pretty good actually as well. It's got some good initial bite there. The bike comes in at £4,999. That's a pretty good price for the spec that you get with this bike. The first 32 of these bikes are actually being delivered with luggage chucked in free of charge. I believe they have all been sold now, unfortunately. I think if they could roll that out a bit further, keep it at £5,000 with the luggage, then it becomes a no-brainer. So I would hope that they might do that in the future, might roll these bikes out with the luggage. If they don't, and you want to add the luggage, then for the top box and the two panniers, it's £850. They are decent boxes as well. They're not plastic, they're proper stainless steel, aluminium, whatever they're made out of. And yeah, it's all riveted nicely, it's all waterproof properly. They're really nice boxes, so it is worthwhile getting those boxes if you can. So we've got Bosch EFI on this bike. We've got fly-by-wire throttle as well. The fueling is fantastic. I can't fault it at all. It's got the typical parallel 500 twin shudder. If it does want to be knocked down a gear and it's struggling a bit, it will let you know. KYB suspension, which is pretty good. It's going to be a little bit harsh on the back for any off-road work that you want to do. The bike comes standard with a centre stand as well. So that's always nice. That's a £250 extra from anyone else. And also we've got the rear rack. Control gear, we got indicators left and right. They're okay, they feel a little bit vague. We've got a high beam, low beam here, and a pass light on the front. And also we have the adjustable clutch. On the right hand bar we have the kill switch, the hazards and the start button, also with a adjustable brake lever. Let me just run you through some quick bullet points of the things I really like about this bike. First of all, it's £69 per year for the road tax, which is a nice tax bracket. We've got the rear rack, we've got the centre stand, decent tyres, 2-year warranty, parts and labour, TFT screen, fly-by-wire throttle. The fueling is brilliant on this bike. LED lights all round, and well-priced parts. Now, one of the main concerns with Chinese bikes that I have is part supply. There's no point having a decent bike if something goes wrong and you can't get the part for 8 weeks. And I've done some digging, and Chinese parts online do sell the parts for this bike. They're surprisingly cheap, as I guess all Chinese bikes are. But if you break something, it's not like it's not going to cost you hundreds of pounds like it does with many other bikes. You can pick up a set of bearings for like £20. So there's a lot to be said for that. To get on the bike is not too bad. I'm 5'8", I've got a 30-inch inside leg, and pretty much flat-footing it. It feels comfortable, everything's in a good natural place. So one of my bugbears with this bike is the screen. It's a two-stage screen, so it's either high or low. I think what you'll probably do is you'll just set it to the highest point and just leave it at that, because it's too much faffing around to move it up and down all the time.
Right, so what's the DS like in traffic? Well, in a nutshell, it's good. It's narrow, It's agile, got the wide bars which don't get too intrusive on car mirrors. It gets you through well, it's eager to go, it's got the power there. The gearing's right as well. It's easy to flick up and down the gears even without the clutch if you need to get up through pretty quick. Yeah, I mean it's got it all on that front, so I'd say it's probably an 8 or a 9 out of 10 for going through traffic. It's very good, and it's light as well. And as I say, with the 17-inch wheel, it does tend to be able to. It's quite responsive. Getting off the lights is good as well. If you've got a BMW driver next to you or whatever, then you quickly blast away from them and get a shot of them. And the front brakes are good as well, so you can just suddenly duck in once you find a good spot to duck in, and yeah, it's good. It's actually quite good fun. It makes it fun because it is so light and agile and responsive.
So overall, I'm coming away from this bike thinking that I just really want VOGE to do well with this bike, because it honestly is a very, very good bike indeed. Yes, it's Chinese, it's going to struggle to get past that mindset of some people about the Chinese thing. And that's understandable, because 20 years ago, they were nowhere like what they're like now. So, yeah, I'd really hope they do well. And if you can get a test ride on one, then do it, because it's you'll be impressed, I can assure you of that.